I'm Bill.
And I'm Candace. And we're the Disruptors.
Hi, and welcome to the Disruptors Show. I'm Bill, and Candace is not going to be with us for a couple of weeks. She's taking a short vacation, and I think she's hiding. I think she's actually taking therapy somewhere. People don't realize what tension she can cause herself when she's working with me. So until she comes back, I'll be doing a couple of different slants on the Disruptors, but I think you'll enjoy the show. Today, I want to bring some positive light to business and how business plays an important part in helping those that are reaching out to help others that in need. As I was looking through the wonderful world of the internet news, I discovered a very interesting story that had been published in the Washington Post. The title of the story was "Faced with His Own Death, His Bucket List Was to Help Poor Kids." Isn't that kind of interesting? It caught my eye because it showed how when we devote ourselves in business or in entrepreneurship and also work with the idea of reaching or obtaining a goal, no matter what or where you are in life, you can overcome these obstacles. And I think that this article was really the epitome of explaining that very clearly. Now, Bob Cleveland used to work in a nightclub as a bouncer. He was beaten up so severely that by two people in 2015 that he had removed from the bar, that his brain was damaged. Last year he learned that he had a horrible tumor on his brain, and it caused him to lose memory and have tremors and severe headaches. To quote Charles, "My doctor said my brain looked as though it belonged to a 70-year-old man." And the 45-year-old mechanic from Springfield, Massachusetts, was almost horrified when he found out a few months later that the doctor had upped that number to a 90-year-old man. Now, there was no way of stopping the deterioration, and the doctor said, eventually, this is going to take your life. He thought about contacting Death with Dignity, a physician-assisted suicide organization. But, quote, "I didn't want to be burdened to anybody." Out of the blue, he received a call from a counselor at an underprivileged school, wondering if he had some extra bicycles he could donate. In fact, he did have some extra bicycles. Quote, "That's what changed my life and my mindset of giving back to those who were underprivileged, couldn't reach out, that Charles decided to make a difference." Now, some people with fatal diagnoses set out to travel and see the world. This gentleman decided to dedicate the time that he had left in giving kids a bicycle. And since the spring of 2017, he has spent more than $10,000 of his own money restoring 1,000 bikes for kids, coordinating with law enforcement agencies in Springfield and surrounding areas to work with police officers to help deliver the bikes, helmets, to local schools. He will go out and adjust seats and handlebars to give kids a safe bicycle, also adding teaching lessons on how to ride correctly. And he did this all through a nonprofit that he created called pedal-thur-youth. It's kind of like a business taking on the needs of a community, but in this case, it was just one individual. Now, I realize that you can get up every day and do projects that you want to help people, he said, but he also works as an on-call, when needed, deputy with the Hampton County Sheriff's Department. Bob knew the underprivileged situation, the crime areas, the neighborhoods, the children didn't really have an opportunity to have bicycles or to reach out to police officers and be reassured that they're there for protection, friendship, and to keep the neighborhoods safe. So Bob ended up being the bike guy in these neighborhoods that he took time to go in with the police and also work with the kids to change that negative about how police function in the communities. It was a big step forward for these kids. When you spend time with the kids, somebody said once, "Well, what do you get out of this?" And I think that this gentleman said it the best. The awesome feeling when he sees the smiles of these kids that he is giving bicycles to or helping. He devotes every Thursday night in turning throwaway bicycles into functioning and pretty new ones. He's working right now in a space at the garage that he works at so that he can rebuild these bicycles, put them into good, safe condition, and get them ready for delivery for the kids. Bob is a very interesting fellow because he was raised by his stepfather who worked extra hours so that Bob could have a bicycle when he was a kid. And he believes that every child should have a bicycle. He recently also started what we call a backpack program, which is kind of interesting because it gets the kids warm hats and gloves and works with the homeless people in the areas that need these things, especially in the winter months. And a lot of the police officers will pack these in the trunks of their cruisers and give them out to those in need. An interesting twist to this story is a very sweet lady by the name of Joanne donated a couple of bicycles to Charles and said, well, I'd just like to see what you do with these bicycles and what kind of programs you're putting together. It was love at first sight. And after she donated these bicycles to the organization, the couple was married in an outdoor ceremony this past summer that included a dunking tank booth. She's now the president of his nonprofit organization. Bob can function very well most of the days, and his doctors have not told him the timeline that he has on how much longer he'll live, because he chooses to dwell not on death or his health. He concentrates on the good life and the life that he enjoys with his wife. The principal of Bolin Elementary School, where Bob has donated dozens of bicycles, calls him just an unbelievable, phenomenal man for the work that he does for those kids, 800 students, by the way, that are living mostly in poverty. You know, a lot of the kids never owned a bicycle. Bob's program has rewarded children who have perfect attendance. So you can see how the school district can use somebody that's an entrepreneur building a community foundation to help kids, how they can change the thinking and environment of communities. You know, the students are now learning to give back themselves. They've helped Bob with the backpack program, filling 100 backpacks purchased by Bob and giving them out at Christmas time. It's incredible what one man can do through a community effort that can make a change for businesses, for the safety of children, and for the well-being of communities. That's exactly the impact that Bob wanted and hoped when he finished and repaired his first bicycle. He will go on repairing and delivering bicycles, hoping to make as much of an impact as he can while he's still here. Quote, my brain continues to get worse, and at some point, I will die. Why not continue doing what I love? So this shows you how the business can work with individuals to make a difference. I want you to stop and think about your business through conversations such as what we're doing here today on the Disruptors program, and what effect you could actually start in your community just by being an entrepreneur and believing in the community welfare. I hope you've enjoyed this show today. We've had a great pleasure bringing it to you. And if you have any questions or comments that you would like to express back to Candace, who is on vacation, by the way, we would be more than happy to send her email directly to whatever institution has her locked away safely in a rubber room and let her read those so that when she comes back from her vacation, she'll have an opportunity to discuss them on the air. Now, here's what you do. Just simply email yourdisruptors@gmail.com. Our special thanks to the Wild Child Group for sponsoring our program today, with the fabulous bensound.com for the music intros that they've supplied us. We really appreciate it. This has been your host, William Lee, with the last word. Always keep us smiling.